Today on the special edition of Military Makeover Operation Career, we visit with Samsung Electronics, a vibrant hub of innovation with thousands of employees nationwide, including a huge number of our hardworking military veterans. We all know Samsung Electronics. Chances are you likely have some of their products in your home right now. From TVs to mobile phones to home appliances, they have a reputation for reliability and excellence, but Samsung is much, much more than just their products. At their very core, the diverse team fuels innovation and technology by welcoming all with open arms, and thousands of our veterans have heeded the call.
My name is Melissa Greco.
My name is Peter Chi.
My name is Amy Belmaggio.
My name is Kevin Peterson.
My name is Butch Cavello.
I'm Mark Lippert.
The beauty of Samsung is that what we do is we look to make superior products and services ultimately for our customers and the end consumer, and the idea that we want to make the globe a better place. The creativity and innovation around Samsung is always customer-based.
Samsung sits at the nexus of several of these critical technologies: semiconductors, electric vehicle batteries, biologics, display technology. Samsung is in these technologies. The United States is interested in these technologies. The world is interested in these technologies. So Samsung, as a company, is going to sit in a very important geopolitical, geoeconomic, and commercial space in the 21st century.
Where we're headed in the future is amazing. If you think about what products did yesterday, what they do today, and what they're going to be tomorrow, is just light years apart.
You're going to see smarter, more dynamic products. You're going to see more energy efficient products, right? And I think you're also going to see more interactive products going forward.
I am the Director of Sales for the West Region with the mobile organization, and I support Verizon Wireless Carrier. So I started out with state and local and federal government nationally, and now I'm moving into pro sports, the NFL, MLB, women's professional sports. So I have a lot of flexibility with Samsung.
I'm the Information Security Manager at Samsung Electronics America.
During my time at Samsung, I've moved through a lot of different jobs. So I originally started off in operations. I moved into finance. I went from finance to supply chains. Now I'm back in finance again. Samsung does look to move talent to where it's best suited. There is a lot of opportunity to move. People are able to pursue their interests, and you can kind of become whatever you want if you have the right drive, if you have the right interests.
At Samsung, I work in automations and data analysis, which is just a fancy way of saying working with computers and 5G technologies. I think there's a lot of things that Samsung does. One big thing to me personally is that Samsung is committed to involvement with the community, which is something that is incredibly dear to me.
Samsung Electronics is a world leader in consumer and business technology, but that's only part of their story. After a short break, we're going to hear from some of their team members that make this all possible, our veterans, as they discuss their service, their transition, and their decision to join Samsung Electronics. Welcome back to this special edition of Military Makeover. Next up, in their own words, our heroes from Samsung Electronics share some of the most important chapters of their lives.
Transitioning from the military is difficult. It's a different language. It's a different culture. And so anything that a company can do to ease that transition, I think makes it much better for the veteran that's actually leaving the service and coming over into the civilian world. And I think that the idea of people going from a very militant organization into a civilian sector, it takes a little bit of a transition. And because of the structure we have at Samsung, we have some of those behaviors in our organization.
Overall, I think the transition, my time period was a little bit nervous. So there was some reservations on, do I really need to exit the military now? Definitely struggled through some unemployment periods. Growing up, I wanted to go into the military. I love this country, so I wanted to serve. I have a small anecdote. In second grade, obviously we did our Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, and our classroom did not have a flag. So I donated our one flag that we had at our home to our school. And I think I've always had that sense of patriotism. Those colors, the red, white, and blue flag, they really do mean something to me. So I have a lot of pride in the country that I live in. It's an honor to have served there. I went to college through an ROTC scholarship, so I got my education paid for. Upon graduation, I was a commissioned officer, so I went in at 22 years old as a brand new second lieutenant. I was in Korea for 4 years, from 2004 to 2008.
I personally do not have a college degree. And I said, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of the Midwest. And so I was looking in the classifieds, and there was a want ad. And so I called, and a man answered and said, United States Navy. This says flight attendant. And he said, well, we have flight crew. I said, that's not the same thing. He said, just come see me. So that's what I chose to do, and I was in the Navy as an air traffic controller for 5 years. I was actually pretty blessed with my transition because I did do a lot of different jobs, side hustles, on the base, and I made a lot of friends. My time was coming up. A friend of mine said, hey, there's a new company starting. Would you like to talk to someone about it? So I went in to meet the hiring manager, and he was luckily a retired Navy lieutenant. We bonded really quickly, came back, and said, we've got the job, do you want it? And it was a wireless technical consultant. So I would consult the government on these products, and I would consult the sales reps on the government.
Being able to transition out of the military was very daunting for me. And that's why I think it's important to highlight that, because there are veterans who transition out of the military after 10 years, after 20 years. And you can only imagine how difficult it could be for someone. My personal reasons for joining the military were because I grew up in an impoverished family. I grew up with kind of a hard life, and the Marine Corps offered an opportunity for me. I served proudly from 2010 to 2015.
I was 23 years old when I joined the Navy. I joined right out of college. I signed up without telling anyone and went right into the Navy. So I graduated in May and was in boot camp by October. It was the first Gulf War when I went through boot camp. So I joined the Navy as aviation ordnance, and I flew as aircrew on a P-3, which is a submarine hunter.
I was an older recruit. I was about early 30s when I went in. It was just the call. I think I'd always wanted to do it. I felt it was important. 9/11 was a really critical moment for our nation's history, and I felt wasn't doing enough, frankly. And as a result, went down, talked to some recruiters, and thought that I could contribute the most quickly, most impactful as a reserve intelligence officer who was quickly mobilized to active duty, and off I went. I was an intelligence officer for SEAL teams, deployed to El Anbar province 2007-2008 to help conduct counterinsurgency, counterterrorism operations in and around Western Anbar province.
I am a proud member, veteran of the United States Air Force. Served in the Air Force for 8 years. Joined in the mid '80s. So many things happened in a short period of time in the service. Operation Desert Shield, which became Operation Desert Storm, while I was in the Air Force. So the ability to help the soldiers on the ground, in a war zone was really a fulfilling opportunity.
Opportunities during service for your country, when looked at from another angle, are in fact life lessons and experiences which are key drivers for employment at Samsung.
So when I'm talking to people who are trying to transition into Samsung or trying to transition out of the military and into the workforce, one of the things that I remind them is that they're more than their job in the military. We tend to, as military people, pigeonhole ourselves into what we did in the military, and if there's not an immediate equation in the civilian world, they think that they can't find a job. And that's not true. It's more the behind-the-scenes skill sets that people have to be self-motivators, to pivot and adapt, the ability to continue to learn. All of those things make you prime candidates for jobs.
Those things that they think of are second nature have tremendous value in the civilian sector. The experiences and the skills that they've learned. So it's not an official degree, it's not a certification, but it's a tremendous amount of learning and knowledge that is so valuable to us here.
The way Samsung approaches veterans without degrees is they look at their skill set and then their background and what they've done and what they've accomplished and where they can fit in. And they find that right fit. If they give you those paths, those options, and being a military, you adapt and overcome, and they understand that, and they'll keep moving forward with you on that path.
While transitioning out of the military can be disorienting for some veterans, Samsung offers a path to thrive. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Samsung has been at the forefront of the evolution of technology in our everyday lives. Now let's take a deeper dive into the lives of our veteran workforce as they push the envelope for the next generation of technology.
Part of what makes Samsung such an interesting, dynamic, and great place is its diversity. A central tenet of that diversity is veterans, underscored by our employee resource groups.
They truly understand that with different diverse groups, they're going to get the highest possible levels of intellect. Just like the military, it's a completely diverse group who enlist and they find a way to work together and just excel.
The company is represented in all parts of the country, from the West Coast to the East Coast, so we all have different backgrounds, we have different experiences.
DEI is critically important to any company, and done right, it is the most successful part of a company. I can tell you here that Samsung makes it important in what we do, and we do it the right way. So whether it's the Veterans Organization, whether it's the Galaxy of Black Professionals or our Pride organization, we don't do it just to do it. We do it for purposes that are intended to improve the business, improve the culture, and improve the opportunities for people within the organization. You can't talk to anyone in our company that it doesn't participate in our ERGs.
ERGs, Employee Resource Groups, are just one way Samsung supports its many thousands of employees, including our veteran heroes.
Having ERGs at an organization like Samsung and allowing us to do events sheds light on the community, on the US, on the world, globally. You know, that we are a diverse group of people and we accept everyone. And we have a spot for them on our team somewhere around the globe.
So Samsung does a lot of engagement with veterans on different levels. I'm involved in the Veterans ERG, which is our military first responder ERG. It's focused on engaging other veterans and the community. I'm also involved in Samsung Alliance, which is our LGBTQ ERG, which is engaging in making sure that there's a safe space for everyone to be their authentic selves.
It's really important to me to show that commitment and involvement, especially as an OEF veteran, Operation Enduring Freedom veteran, who I served during 2010 and 2015 times. We want to give back. We want to continue serving. And there's a term for this called continued service. And that's what we, as a Veterans ERG at Samsung, are able to do with our highlight those volunteer events, highlight those leaderships that exist within the veterans and the allies that exist in our ERG. Highlight what they're interested in, highlight their commitment to their communities, and bring that back into our Veterans ERG to share with others.
It is a special group. There is part of Samsung that just deeply cares and appreciates the service they've imparted to the United States. Remember, this is a Korean company, and in Korea, there's mandatory conscription for military-age males. So lots and lots of people in Korea have served, right? So there's a recognition of service, I think, ingrained in this company almost from its founding, right? That's one. Two, what do they bring in terms of skills? Well, they bring management, leadership, working under time pressure, right? A range of different abilities to adapt and overcome, right? That is critical in the military. That's part and parcel why we like veterans so much at Samsung.
With integrity and respect as core values at Samsung and our armed forces alike, it's no wonder top military talent find a welcome home at Samsung, where creating innovative products admired the world over is all in a day's work.
The Army mission or core values and the Samsung values both have integrity in their values, and I think that kind of coincides with the work we do, the processes, the products that we make.
When you're in the military, you're responsible for everyone you work for, work with, or who works for you. You have that ability to read a situation, adapt to it, make a suggestion. I've been here for 23 years, but it's the people I work with and the relationships I've made and the overall belief in the mission of just Samsung trying to do what's best for the community and to make lives better and move ahead. I believe in the product and I believe in the mission statement behind it.
One big thing that I've learned in my 3 years that I've worked here at Samsung is that everywhere that we operate around the world, we have involvement. We have volunteer events, we have partnerships that we do, and it's the betterment of the community that really draws many Samsung employees. It's important for a company to be involved in their community. Samsung is involved to grow those communities means that there's more opportunities for everyone, but more importantly, to see the communities and people taken care of.
The integrity of Samsung is by far one of the highest I've ever worked with. You know, they truly treat their people with respect, and that's what you learn in the military is respect. You know, and I think that's the one thing about Samsung that I absolutely truly enjoy is the integrity of the people that work here. They listen, they help you, they guide you, and they want to make sure you are successful and you're doing well. So I was given this opportunity and I've been here for 9 years.
People know our footprint, or they think of us through our consumer products, but we've been here for 4+ decades. We have massive semiconductor fabrication facilities in Austin, Texas, home appliance manufacturing facility in South Carolina. We have a research and development facility in San Jose, Silicon Valley. It is a sprawling enterprise, 20,000 employees. If you want to do something that is impactful and that will shape the world in the 21st century, come work for Samsung. It's a great place to work.
Samsung Electronics, inspiring the world and creating the future. More when we return. Great to see that after sacrificing so much in the military service, today's veterans have found careers at Samsung Electronics where they've been innovating products that shape the future. I'm Montel Williams. Thanks so much for joining us on this special episode of Military Makeover Operation Career. We'll see you next time.